Good morning. I probably should have. Well, first off, let me say good morning. Let's do all that. Let's do all the introductions and get all that stuff out the way first. I'm just realizing, um, I could have went live on the iPad and had the phone do something else to get multi streams. It's too early for this. So, good morning, everybody. It's the Academy. We're here this morning. So, unfortunately, our guest speaker for this week didn't show up. We won't throw anybody under the bus, so we won't say any names. But they we always have guest speakers. I guess they just decided they didn't want to show today. So we're having to improvise. We're improvising. It's gonna be the Sharnice show today. She doesn't want it to be, but it is.
All right, I'm out. Bye, y'all.
But we are going to talk financial literacy and credit. We got so many guest speakers that come on, and we kind of just gave y'all so much over the last couple of months. We want to go back to what's important, the beginning of any of that stuff. Anything that we've had, any speaker that we've had come on, the root of that is going to be credit. It's going to be having good credit to do any of those things. So, Sharnice, we now have an intro. That's good.
No, I forgot it. Look, scratch. As soon as you did the countdown, my phone reset. It's somewhere lost in the abyss of my cellular device.
Can you make up an intro?
All right.
Tell me an intro. Let's get some intro comments.
What she do?
Right. What? No, I don't have an intro. All right, y'all. What's up? It's a Wake Up Wednesday podcast where we week after week bring you guest host speakers that do a deep dive into their particular industries. This podcast is not just catered for entrepreneurs, but this is an intro, so to speak, for the 9-to-5ers. And if you have a 9-to-5, don't just quit just because this entrepreneur stuff, y'all, is hard. That's all I got. That's it. I'm all right, y'all. I'm out.
That was good though. That was good. That was great. Really, I didn't really expect you to freestyle that good. I thought you was gonna butcher it. So, thanks.
You expected less.
Thank you. Oh my God, I just love how highly you guys think of me. Right. On my toes. So, I think, yeah.
Like I said, we're gonna freestyle. So Sharnice, she didn't want to, but we're gonna ask a couple credit. I mean, me and Brian can answer them too, but she the goat. We're gonna ask you the one that's suing and doing all the other things. You can get us money. A lot of credit repair companies are able to help put their clients in better situations. You can put them in better financial situations. So it's a difference. That's huge. You know what I'm saying? Listen. When I was doing it, I was getting people 700 credit scores. You doing it, you getting them 700 credit scores and $70,000. That's a huge difference.
I like the money. They like the money. People send you more people when you do good by them or whatever. Deletions by themselves are just boring to me now. I like my clients calling me and say, "Oh my God, I got this much per account."
Money. Right.
Exactly.
I'm already knowing.
Use that for.
Let's get started with our ChatGPT generated questions, because I tell everybody ChatGPT did this.
Hey, if you ain't using it, I mean, you losing.
All right, so what are some common mistakes that people make when using? Oh, these are the business ones. You said don't ask you those. Let me go back. Sorry.
Business credit.
Sorry. Pause, y'all. My bad. We got reset. Those are questions for me. All right. So what are some common errors?
Technical difficulties.
What are some common errors on credit reports, and how can consumers identify and dispute them? You don't have to be in debt. I mean, just
right, because I'm trying to.
Yeah.
Right. That's what because my brain. Okay. Common errors that people can identify is almost always going to be in the payment history. For me, that is the dead giveaway. If it's a negative account, if it's a charge off, a repossession, late payments, the inconsistencies come in the payment history almost every single time. Every client that I've ever had that's went over to my attorneys, it's because the payment history is messed up. So if you pay attention to that, it doesn't matter if you make the mistakes. Everybody, life happens. The mistakes happens. Is it reporting the way that it's supposed to be reporting? If it's not, you look at the payment history. How many times have you looked at a credit report and you see month to month, it's late in May on one bureau, positive in the other ones? That's a blatant violation. So you can play monkey man in the middle. They're going to point the fingers at each other and say, oh, no, it's not us. I don't care. I'm suing all of y'all.
Okay. And for like correcting errors like that, payment history, or whether it could be payment history, it could be collection charge-offs, whatever, the things that you listed, like how long does it usually take to repair? I think there's a misconception in the industry, like people saying, oh, I can get to 30 days. Like, tell us what it really is.
So the way that I do it is a little bit different, because I'm doing, in the first month, the very first thing that I'm doing is collecting documents. Like, I don't want to dispute anything. And I feel like if you dispute too quick without having a solid strategy, you mess up your chances at, getting the issues, the violations popping up, because you can manufacture violations, right? So if you know that it's messed up, request all the documents. You don't have to dispute that first month. Everybody wants deletions. If you're going straight for the deletions, if that's what you're telling your clients, oh, I can get you this, then, whatever you're telling them is what you tell them. I tell my clients right out the gate, I'm going to collect documents this first 30, 40 days. Once everything comes in, I'm going to review everything, and then I'm going to execute. So my clients won't see, I'll say, results back until the first 60 days, right? That's when I'm able to either go forward with legal complaints or go forward with the disputes. But I have everything from every party that I need. All I'm doing is just laying the foundation.
Got you. Yeah. And like, what's some of those documents, if you can share? I don't want you to give away too much of your source, but if you can share with the audience, like,
you gotta give up some souls. You gotta give up some.
Right. If the account is charged off, you're looking for 1099s. You can request the general accounting payment history. And the reason why I like that one in particular is because it's going to tell you when they're reporting this information to the credit bureaus. Another thing that you can request is the account summary for how they're reporting to the credit bureaus. You can request that. Banks have been the ones who, for me, in my experience, banks are the ones that will typically provide it. So they'll say, on this month, this is what we reported to these credit bureaus or whatever. So you can see exactly how they're reporting it. And then it becomes a matter of, was it the credit bureaus that messed it up, or was it y'all that messed it up? Because either way, the errors are there. So the account summary, reporting history to the credit bureaus, the general accounting ledger, which shows the payment history, 1099s if the accounts are charged off, because if it's charged off, it's supposed to be there. That's not always the case. Some institutions, will close it and charge it off, but then they'll switch it to their internal, collections department. So,
gotcha.
But yeah, I get all of that stuff. I think that's off the top of my head. I can remember. It's only like 3 or 4 things that I request from original.
What is a good credit score?
What's a good credit score?
What is a good credit score?
680 and higher.
680 or higher?
Mm-hmm.
So a 620 is not good?
Mm-mm. What are you getting? Are you going to get a car?
Hey, listen, I'm just doing this for the YouTube clips.
Oh, it's 680. The reason why I say that is because the closer that you get to 700, your rates go down. So a 620, you may as well have a 500. I mean, you in it literally, as far as interest rates, it's going to be a little bit better, but it's not going to be that much better. You want to go as high as possible. I'm not taking out no new loans, no new nothing. If I'm not touching 700 or as close to that as possible, the rates in itself will have you poor. Depending on the I mean, if you think about it, let's say you wanted to go and get a brand new truck, right? So if you had a 700 credit score, you have a 2%, 199, 1.99. Sorry, y'all, APR.
Yeah. I had 1.79.
Oh, okay. Ooh, fancy. But why would you want a 7 or 8% if you could avoid it? Just go up a little bit higher. You can either pay down, by having a higher down payment, but I don't want to pay nothing. I want to walk in there 3 months free.
I got a question. Mm-hmm. It's from Instagram. We got Instagram popping. We should always have Instagram on the phone, man. TikTok.
Talking about.
That's why I ain't apologize. I noticed I ain't apologize today.
Yeah. My show was like, I was like, oh, we didn't do the regular. All right.
So why not? He said, how can you build from a 535 to a 750? I mean, I know it's not a generic answer. So Shanice, what you got?
So that's gonna be profile dependent, but the quickest way to get there, I don't know, it's not really quick, but the quickest way to get there is through your credit cards. Extend your lines of credit constantly, as much as possible, as often as possible. Every time they offer you a credit limit increase, take it. If you can increase the line yourself, take it. And you can increase your credit limits through a secure credit card. So you can go and get, a secure card from somewhere that doesn't have an annual fee. The interest rates aren't ridiculous, and increase every single month, $100 to $200 constantly. Yeah, you can go. What is that? Wells Fargo?
Graduated.
Look,
I finally.
Yeah, but so you can manually increase your credit lines. The more access to credit you have, the larger your credit lines. That's why when people go for these season trade lines, or let's say you're piggybacking off of a relative, they want higher limits, because the more access to credit you have, the better it is for your profile. If you're showing banks, yeah, I'm responsible, I can responsibly use and utilize this card, they'll keep giving you money. They want you to mess up. They make money on the interest. So if I could entice you with a $15,000 credit card, why would I keep you at $2,000? They want you to mess up. Do you have the restraint, to do it? Do you have the restraint to increase your line every single month?
Right. How would you? So you talked about basically revolving accounts, credit cards. How would you qualify that versus maybe a large installment loan? Like, are they
like a mortgage?
Yeah, like a mortgage. Maybe it's a car. You got like a $80,000, $90,000 car.
So mortgages are going to have a little more weight on the FICO aspect of things, just because it's a huge loan. It's 30 years for the average person. Nobody, I don't see anybody taking out, 15-year loans. Some people do, but that's going to be the heaviest because of the age on it. Obviously, credit cards can age out, can surpass that. I don't know anybody with a 40-year credit card, but it happens.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So a mortgage, I think, would be the only thing that will hold more weight than a credit card. But credit cards, for the most part, because you could constantly get them, constantly add. And if let's say you have a relative that already has a 20-year credit card, you know what I'm saying? You can get on that one as well. So credit cards just hold more weight in as a collective, though, on the FICO score model. Installments, because typically 10 years and less. So I don't know why they did it like that. That's just how the people did it. That's how they want to scale things.
Another one he said, and I want to answer it, but he said so discipline is key when it comes to raising a credit score, and that's absolutely so. With credit, first off, you got to have patience. Credit repair, well, credit building, credit repair, all of it. You got to have patience. A lot of we seeing all these advertisements and ads and things saying, "Oh, we can flip you in 14 days." That's BS. We can flip you in 30 days. That's BS. You're not going from a 535 to a 750 under 6 months. It just ain't happening. The only way I can see it happening, and this is unethically, is if you were to do like a credit sweep, adding a bunch of trade lines that ain't yours, going and getting high limit credit cards, and then trying to hurry up and apply before all of that stuff gets removed and added back, which is the wrong way to go about it, because now you're going to blend in your credit profile with new and good credit, and all your old stuff is going to come back, or even worse, that you get your account red flag. So patience and discipline. The patience is understanding that it's going to take a long time. The discipline is understanding that credit money, the money that you have on those credit cards, is not your money. So use it to make money, but don't just use it with no money. Like let's use a $10,000 credit card for an example. If I have a $10,000 credit card, but I only have $1,000 in my bank account, I would never spend more than $1,000 on that credit card. I don't care what the situation is, because I can't afford to pay more of it back. I'd have to work more. I may have to get a job, all the different things. And we fall into that trap of thinking that because I have access to this money, I can spend this money. Don't get me wrong. Emergencies, that is 100% what they're there for. If you can use them to buy an investment that you know is going to make money, even if it takes time, then that's the money for. But you want to have a game plan. You want to have the discipline to understand, okay, cool, I'm going to spend this money. It's going to take 6 months to make it back, or a year to make it back, or years to make it back. But I'll be making enough to pay the minimum due, just long enough to get on my feet, or XYZ. But make sure you have a game plan. Make sure you discipline. Make sure you're patient, and you'll build your credit. That's why a lot of people hire the credit repair companies, because it gives you the out of sight, out of mind, like feeling. I pay these people when they do all the work. But the reality of it is, and this is not a shot against credit repair companies, but the reality of it is if you're paying anybody to do all the work for you, you're doing yourself a disservice, because you're not understanding the value of what they're doing, or the value of what you need to do in order to keep your credit good, or to get your credit good, and things like that. So there's nothing wrong with hiring a credit repair specialist. I was one. I've hired one before I became one. My two partners still do it. Just make sure that whoever you hire and whoever is getting you to help them is teaching you along the way and giving you the full understanding that, listen, I'm going to send out these letters. I'm going to do all this. I'm going to do all that. And you still need to do XYZ too. Don't just be I'll pay you $149 a month and that's it. Because in 2 years from now, you gonna mess your credit back up. Might be less than that. I've had clients.
I was gonna say 2 years. That's
hey, I've had clients. They get
yeah.
like $5,000 credit cards when they be fed, and for them that's exciting because they never had anything over 250, and then they max it out. Oh, well, can you get this removed? Why the hell would you get a credit card and just assume that I'm gonna get it removed for you? No, that's not how it works. It's not a get out of debt free card. Like, so yeah, patience, discipline.
You still owe that money.
Yeah, you do.
exactly.
Yeah.
And then the interest gonna bust you over the head. No, I don't want none of that.
All right, go ahead, B. You got the next one. I saw that and I was like, my time to shine. Oh
yeah. And I'm gonna add something to that before I ask the next question. So I think you gotta get with somebody that's going, and y'all know the slogan for T, educate, automate, elevate. I think you gotta get somebody that's going to educate you in order to elevate you. You know what I mean? Like, you have to have the education of how to maintain your credit in order to get to that next level. The credit repair organization, yeah, that's the automation. They're doing everything, but you need to be a part of that process. You need to know what accounts you need to be adding to your consumer report in order to maintain after you graduate out of that program, after you get to a 700 or 750. You feel me? So just be wary of who you're working with. Make sure that they're educating you on how to keep the results. So I wanted to move into some of the tougher accounts. We talked about payment history. So obviously late payments, in my experience, have been one of the tougher accounts. But let's talk about bankruptcies. How do we address bankruptcies and all the other public records that may happen on a consumer report?
I swear he don't know how to hit and
I know
he got all that stuff going down in the background. What's going on? Okay.
I turned the camera off and Cody killed the audio.
Turn the camera off. He ain't turned the mic off.
You still mic up.
Exactly. I'm like, what? Hey, I can't hear you.
Let's pause for a sec real quick because I got Wynette here on watching us on Instagram. So me and Brian did a event. It was me, Brian, and one of our good friends, Mo. We did an event 2 weeks ago, and it was a financial literacy event. Yes, baby. It was a financial literacy event, but it was exciting. We pretty much covered like how financial literacy works. We were talking to a group of musicians, so it was awesome to kind of like get their insight on what they think about credit and what they think about financial literacy and how it all works. I'm actually going to reach out to Mills and Wynette to see if we can get them as guest speakers too, so we can talk about that. But how you feel about that, B? I guess it's time to ask you some questions. How you feel about the event?
About the event? It was great, man. At first,
I don't think we didn't really tell you, Shanice. Did we tell you like how it went?
No. Because apparently I don't fit the criteria to be like included in none of these things.
Man, nah, you had to pull up. I don't know if you want to, pull up all the way from. I ain't gonna put the business out there. Where you at to
right? Thank you.
DMV, you know what I mean? So, but nah, it was great. It was great. I definitely didn't expect them to kind of know the information that they did. That surprised me a little bit. But they were very receptive of the information, taking notes the whole time, because I think the outlook on artists is that they get a bunch of money and they blow it, because they're not equipped to either have budgets, know about credit. Like they just get the money and blow it, and then they back to square one. So just to see them be receptive, ask questions, and really be into it. I know a couple people won some tickets to the event, so we should see them.
Yeah, I'm excited.
In a couple weeks.
I'm excited.
But yeah, it's going to be crazy.
What excited me the most, like you said, when they were taking notes, it was the Q&A that we did. We asked them to give us a musical goal and a non-musical goal, and throughout that exercise, we realized it, but they also realized that a lot of their musical goals aren't as strong as they thought that they were. They're like, wow. I want to do music, I want to be a musician, and want to do this. But then when they would say their non-musical goals, they would give us a much in-depth breakdown of how elaborate they want to do something. And I'm like, well, look at what you just did there. All musicians aren't going to make it. We know that. And there's nothing wrong with being in any industry or having any goal or any dream or whatever. But when you realize that your goal isn't as strong as something else, like if you have two goals and you notice that goal B is stronger than goal A, why would you exert more energy into goal A when goal B is what you desire the most? And when we did that exercise, one of them, I can't remember his name, but one of them had a musical goal. I'm talking about this guy is like the top of the top. He ain't nothing. He producers. He has a marketing team. He got all the things he needed. But everybody else was kind of like in the opposite. It was like, oh yeah, I want to have a hair salon. I want to open up a music studio. I want to be a ghostwriter and things like that. I'm like, well, what's making you pursue this so hard if you really want that? And we kind of broke it down. So that kind of goes back to what I was saying to Wynette on Instagram with the discipline and the patience and the understanding, because your path might change. Hell, my path changed. Mm-hmm. You can talk about me. I had a credit repair company. I I don't even fix credit repair anymore. Now small business owners grow their businesses. So that was a whole path that changed. I was very, very, very successful with my credit repair business and decided to just take a different route because I wasn't feeling it anymore. And it's not that I don't like helping people. It's just I feel more rewarded with what I'm doing now. But that's it. Yeah, fill it up, please. All the way.
Now, credit repair, it's a boy. If you deal with a lot of people in the credit repair industry, it'll make you get out real quick because some of these people are catty. They shouldn't be. Everybody. It's high school all over again as adults, and not even in the same vicinity. Like this is virtually high school if you're in the credit repair industry. So I stay at my own lane. I mind my own business.
That's any industry though, because now that I'm in the SaaS industry, it's the same thing, and I'm like, Jesus. So you never really get out of the high school environment, fortunately, unless you get out of the communities. Like I know several millionaires that are not big on Facebook or not big on Instagram, so they don't have to deal with those high school, cliques and things like that because it's like, okay, I'm making my money here. I don't care who's saying what. I don't care who's doing what. I'm making my money.
Right.
When you're in these smaller social media groups and you're in 4 or 5 different groups and everybody is all in the same groups, then people are going to talk. So that's typically what happens. If you guys are starting out small businesses, don't focus on joining all thousands and thousands of groups to try to get knowledge. Find 1 or 2 groups that are really giving you knowledge. Stick with those groups. Don't worry about everything else. I mean, do your research. I'm not saying just blindly follow somebody, but don't listen to what other people will say about certain Oh, it's not. You guys talk. I gotta clean up on aisle 3.
So, certain individuals.
Did he mute? Okay. Look, he muted. Yay. Okay.
Yeah, go ahead, B. Back to the question, man. Before we started.
So it was bankruptcy. Ask the question again.
Yeah. So like, how do you deal with bankruptcies and other public records that might appear on a consumer report? Like, how do you address those?
A consumer report or a credit report?
We need to get into that too. Then, I'm used to saying consumer report. You know what I mean?
Okay, so a consumer report is going to be a report that's compiled of all of your information that is not necessarily credit related, if that makes sense, right? So a credit reports only come from the main 3, but a consumer report will come from LexisNexis, CoreLogic. It comes from, all of the secondaries, as we call it, right? So, KP, bro, can you please stop? I'm like, I'm trying to get it
so Instagram can see everybody, but I just found it. Yes.
Oh my God. Okay. So consumer reports will have so much more information about a consumer than a credit report will. Credit report is just going to be the open accounts that you have, open and closed accounts that you have, negative, positive, stuff like that. Your consumer report is going to have your insurance, it's going to have your personal property, it's going to have your real estate, it's going to have all your jobs, all where you went to school, your your unverified records from LexisNexis got your partners, all your exes. Yeah. So, you can, if you're working with public records, you can start by cleaning up your consumer report first. I always recommend going that route because I don't like for any one location to be able to go back and verify anything else, right? So LexisNexis tends to be the easiest one to clean up. That's a whole simple letter. I didn't give you permission to collect this information about me, which it is consumer privacy invasion. So it's an easy deletion. Go in and clean that up. Now, LexisNexis reports to Equifax and Experian. They used to report to TransUnion. They say they don't, but I have no reason to believe that they don't. So if you clean up the LexisNexis and CoreLogic and ARS, go behind and do all of that, then the likelihood of getting public records deleted are going to increase once you get to the credit bureaus. But this goes back to what I was saying earlier. You have to have a plan in place before you start trying to go for deletions and stuff, and even a bankruptcy, depending on what it looks like. And this is going to be a case by case situation. The bankruptcy might be reporting inaccurately. I've seen terminated bankruptcies that ain't even supposed to be there. I've seen it all. So I guess it really just depends on who you hire. Because if they going in straight for the jugular, they going in for those disputes because they're, dispute driven or deletion driven companies, they might not be working in your best favor. So clean up the consumer report, then go for the credit reports.
Gotcha. KP, you good? You back? Or you want me to keep rocking?
No, I mean, I'm back. You can keep asking questions. I'm just here. I can answer them. So let me go ahead and get back up. Whoever's talking is gonna be up here. So Brian gonna talk.
Oh, okay.
Oh, so that's what you're doing. Cool. What so some of the things there are a couple of different monitoring platforms to look at your credit. And now we talked about, well, we know that there's FICO, we know that there's Vantage. Maybe you can get into some differences between those, or like how they scored. But what are your go-to monitoring platforms for consumers?
I guess it depends on and I'm gonna always say this. So every answer is going to be on a case by case situation. I personally prefer annualcreditreport.com. If you're going, you can look at it weekly, depending on the bureau. They still haven't changed that. I've been able to order my reports every single week. I don't know why, because I don't have nothing bad on there. I just be waiting for something to pop up. But annualcreditreport.com, and it's free for the average person. So I feel like that's going to be the best. But if you are, you want to look at a tri-merged report, I think Identity IQ is going to start off as the cheapest. I think Smart Credit just implemented maybe a few months ago their $1 like trial and stuff like that. I mean, it's going to be on a cost, whatever is comfortable every single month for somebody to spend. I don't personally mind spending $29 on credit monitoring. The plans that I personally get are for myself. I'm covered up to $1 million. You know what I'm saying? In identity theft protection. So there are benefits to paying for credit monitoring, but it's going to depend on the individual. If you don't want the protection, go to annualcreditreport.com. You don't want to pay nothing, go there. And annualcreditreport.com has more information if you know what you're looking for as far as like errors on a credit report. So, it's kind of going to depend on the individual and what they prefer.
Gotcha. Yeah,
I was gonna tap in. That's the same thing. It also depends on what you're trying to do. So like, well, I guess the question was for credit monitoring, right? If it's for credit monitoring, so like how I usually used to start my clients off with is we get a Vantage credit monitoring company, because we're not focused on the score in the beginning. We're focused on the profile. We're focused on the things that are there. As long as I can see the things that are there, I can help you delete the things that are there and help strengthen the things that are there. Once we get you to like a comfortable 650 and up, that's when we want to switch to the FICO model. So now you can truly see your credit score and understand, okay, before I apply to get this credit card, before I apply to get this loan, before I go get this mortgage, my credit score is actually a 690, not the Vantage 790 or close to 800 that you're thinking you got. So in the beginning of your credit repair journey, Vantage is okay, just in the beginning. But it also depends on the depth, because I know Shanice, she goes straight my annual credit report because she's ready to sue after the first 30 days. Like, you know what I'm saying? Everybody's not like that though. So
look,
I won't sit and say,
I want to take my money and pay down some credit cards. I want to take my money and put down on a house. I want to take my money and, you know what I'm saying? I don't know why you're gonna take $5,000 to a lot, but I want to take $5,000 to a lot and buy a car cash. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you have errors on your credit report, the money is there. It's not about you messing up. And I'm not telling anybody butcher your credit so you think you can get paid or nothing like that. But if you already have the errors there, you potentially are already sitting on a bag. Why go for the deletions when you can get paid? You know what I'm saying? Like, and I know that might sound crazy. That sounds crazy to some people or whatever, but yeah, it's money in that stuff. Like, they messed up. Yeah, not you. Well, you messed up too, but you know, you not reporting it.
Yeah.
But no, to hit on what KP said, you can also get my score IQ.
Yeah,
or is it my score IQ. My score IQ, which is the FICO version. So I mean, if you want to do FICO from the beginning, you can do FICO, and it's a tri-merge report. You know, so I think that's just going to depend on the individual. You know, what do you want to see? Do you want to pay for the Vantage? Do you want to pay for the FICO? Yeah, it's about the same price, maybe a couple dollars different a month.
Yeah. Okay. Last question I got.
Dang, he like.
Dang.
He said the last question.
Nice meeting you guys. Last question I got. All right, I'm out. Okay.
He said that was the last question I got. That was the last question.
The mic said, all right, I'm out.
He probably don't even know
where'd you go?
Hey, the crazy
part, he's sitting over there waiting for you to respond.
Right, he probably still waiting for you to answer. He probably like, dang, they both froze. Nah, but I just heard something.
I did.
Yeah, he choppy.
We can't hear you yet.
Freeze.
Okay, there you are.
You froze. You froze. Did you did somebody call you?
It froze again. It froze. That's usually what happened.
Dang, somebody called my guy. It had to be somebody calling.
You know what? That's why I turned my
Ricardo. You know what? I'm gonna see. I'm gonna DM Ricardo after this and see if he wants to pop up, because Ricardo
I'm like, hey,
what's a million clients now.
Hi B, welcome back.
Are you back, sir? You back with us?
I heard an exasperated sigh, and now he's gone again. B, where art thou? Dang, I don't think we had technical difficulties. I don't think we've had difficulties like this in a while.
Nah, he got the red bar on his name. It's cool. Hey, Evelyn. Evelyn said good stuff, Evelyn. Oh man. Well, not sure where he went. Let's shift. Let's talk about business. Not business credit, but just businesses. So one thing when it comes to starting a business or growing a business is credit. Obviously, you know, and it's personal credit. A lot of people don't realize one cheat code, and I'm gonna tell y'all this, and this is not really a cheat code, it's just people don't understand it. But one cheat code to having business credit is simply having good personal credit. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
I really hate when people say, don't PG. The reason, Brian, you still I feel like you back, but you back. It's not you back. But the reason why people don't want you to PG, typically, I won't say this is for everybody, but it's typically because they're teaching you something fraudulent. They're teaching you some type of scam, and they want you to not have it attached to your personal credit.
You know what?
Because I PG'd 7 to 10 of my credit cards on my business credit cards, because why not? I have no ill will of using them, so I don't have any fear of it ever coming back to my personal credit score. When I started, I started a new business, or I bought a business from someone, and immediately got 2 credit cards, both of them for $15,000 for credit cards, simply because my personal credit score was good. I literally just bought this LLC from someone, got a new EIN, established a business, and went to the bank. $30,000, just like that. No business credit established for it or nothing. That bank, I literally just opened
don't want me to be great, right?
That day, and they were able to give me $30,000 because of my personal credit. I had to PG it, obviously, but that's the cheat code. That's what people don't understand.
I apologize. I think that the whole no PG community, for the most part, and this is not every company, I think they ruined business credit for a lot of people who needed business credit. Like if you think about the Floor and Decker, they butchered that. They did like all, they it was so many companies, and I think like PG is a personal guarantee. It's when you're using your social security number. You're using your personal credit basically to get the line of credit. But if it's business, it's going to be separate from your personal profile anyway, depending upon the institution of, where you get it. Capital One, I think, if you do their business cards, all of those are going to show on your personal credit. So some business cards will, some will and some won't. But I mean, it's stressful when you have people that are like, I'm going to build business credit I'm not PGing anything. Why? You get access to more money faster when you're using a PG, way faster. If you're saying I'm working on my credit right now and I just don't have it, sure, go the PG route, but you're going to spend unnecessary amounts of money trying to get business credit, and you really need business loans. That has nothing to do, that has nothing to do with business credit. Business loans is going off of your personal credit. So all in all, right. So all in all, if you're building business credit with intent to, finance something, you need to be working on your personal credit the entire time.
All right, let me jump back up there. Also, before, because we were talking about starting businesses, don't worry about credit until you have a business plan.
Mm-hmm.
Until you have a business game plan, you should. Oh, Brian lagged up. Until you have a business game plan, don't worry about credit. Stop worrying about credit. It's too many people that are getting on these consultations with me, and they're like, "Oh, I want to do X, Y, Z." Okay, well, who's your target audience? I don't know. How do you plan to reach them? I don't know. What is your customer journey? I don't know. So why are you worried about business credit? Stop trying to get the money before you have the game plan to keep the money and to grow the money. That's why a lot of y'all are failing. That's why a lot of y'all are starting these businesses, paying all these gurus these thousands of dollars because you have access to it, and not understanding what the hell is going on. And it sucks, obviously.
But not just that. When people are new businesses, they are open, they're susceptible to the flashy lifestyle stuff. I saw somebody make a post in one of these groups. I almost got out of the group, but I sit back and I watch stuff, right? This person said, I'm $45,000 in debt and I just opened an LLC. What's that business? What's that business credit card that I can go and get where I can get money so I can start paying down my debt? And I'm like, who told you that? Who are these people that are intentionally, you can get an LLC and now you get $100 million so you can go and buy, you know what I'm saying? Like, like, wait a minute, I'm not understanding, desperation is the hardest thing for anybody to, that's the hardest mental situation for anybody to be in, because you start doing stuff that is, if you weren't desperate, it sounds stupid as hell. You cannot get an LLC unless your personal credit is good, thinking you're going to walk into a bank and get a line of credit or, get a loan for your business or get anything. If you don't have your details mapped out and you're not patient and you don't have a strategy, you have to have all of that stuff mapped out. Business is not, I'm going to use this business, bankrupt it, and then I'm going to go off and live my life. You still going to be on the line for something. Business is not like personal. The business is going to attach itself to your social security number because you needed that to get the EIN and all of that stuff. It's going to attach it to you for a lifetime. Now you have liens on you that are business liens. No bank is going to mess with that. Go for it. Huh?
I said they don't understand. To me, and this is going to be speaking of 5 years ago. So to me, 5 years ago, when I would hear no PG no docs or no PGs and no none of that, I would just automatically assume, okay, I'm about to create this EIN. I'm going to get as much money as they let me get. I'm going to take the money and not pay it back. 100%. That's what the game plan was. 100%. And that's the mindset of so many people, not understanding that you attached your social security number to your EIN.
Mm-hmm. Now you got a business
just because you didn't PG, exactly. Just because you didn't PG, it does not mean that you're scot-free. Oh, I put a fake name on my EIN, but you put a real social security number. So
exactly,
they're gonna get, So regardless of how you guys think you're manipulating the system or how you think you're finessing it, you're not really finessing it. It might take a long time. Don't get me wrong. The government's backed up. I mean, they're still catching the PPP scammers from 3-4 years ago. Mm-hmm. So it might take some time, but I don't want to have to be looking over my shoulder every day.
Right.
The worst feeling in the world is getting pulled over by the police for like a speed light or running a red light or something and finding out that you got a bench warrant for something you did 4 years ago.
Man.
And it's like, especially when it comes to fraud, because they can be like, oh, we finally got them. Mm-hmm. So now they're going to tack that on. They're going to tack that on to whatever your crime is. So you ran a red light. Cool. You already getting a red light. And you had a money laundering crime. You might as well call your family. You ain't coming back.
And it's sad though, but again, people are so like desperate to be out of poverty, and I get it. You know what I'm saying? But you got to have a strategy. You can have 6 figures in credit. You can have 7 figures in credit. You can have literally the life that you dreamt of, 7-8 figures, depending on what you're doing. You can have the life of your dreams if you are disciplined, if you practice patience, if you have a strategy, all of that. If you decided to, let me see how I can get over with those 0% interest credit cards, bro, when you start getting that, you open up a whole floodgate that you don't even fully understand. And that's for the person that's coming into the entrepreneur, industry or mindset. You have so much money at your fingertips, you just don't know. Get with somebody that you trust, have them lead you accordingly, not somebody that's going to scam you. Not, I don't buy anything from anybody. I don't follow people based on what their lifestyle that they're projecting, because half the time these people be in these cars, they rent them. Their Airbnb exists, and that's like, let's not pretend like that's not a thing. It's people will rent their homes, they're renting their cars, and they're selling you a dream. And then people are, oh, I bought this course and it was $3,000-$4,000 and I didn't learn nothing. I wish I would. That's no. Look, I'm not gonna say what I would do, but look, like, there's nothing like having that feeling like finally I'm getting ready to get out, and then you fall deep into desperation or depression because now you're out of $3,000-$4,000, even if it's only $2, and you didn't achieve the intended goal. Everything is about strategy and patience.
See, that's that fire. Brian, you back? It looked like he back enough to see, but not back enough to speak. He was yellow before I called his name, and then it went red.
Stop talking to that man.
My bad, B. My bad. All right, well, he lagged out. TikTok looked like it went down a little bit. Instagram, I had switched over to TikTok, and Brian is trying. So it's 11. Didn't realize it was 11. But Shanice, we're gonna have an intro and a closure. Do we have a closure?
That's it, y'all. That's all we got. Like, no, I didn't know we were supposed to have a closeout.
Oh my God. Okay, so I'm saying this on live on the podcast, so all y'all can hear me, and it's recorded. So I want y'all to hold her accountable. Okay. Shanice is in charge. And we're gonna give her until May 1st. That gives you what, 2 weeks? 2 podcasts.
That's a week.
By May 1st, or by the first May podcast. How about that? The first May podcast. Okay. To have an intro for the podcast and an outro. That's it. It's super simple.
Y'all gonna get. That's all we got, and then I'm gonna hit one of these.
Jesus Christ.
That's all we got for y'all. That's it.
All right.
I'm out.
But no. that's not gonna be all we got, y'all. Just please bear with us. We're growing. I got the YouTube getting better. We got the clips that are being chopped up out of this. I'm trying to get the intro so that way we can take the intro for the YouTubes and then take the extra for the exit of the YouTube. So it's rhymes and reasons to why I'm doing all this, especially with like social media. You want to have something where it's like, oh, that's the Elevation Academy. Like think about any podcast that you like. Like I watch Skip and Shannon, right? They got the Lil Wayne intro, the No Mercy. It's like an intro. It could be anything. It doesn't have to be you specifically, but we need some type of intro. And your job.
So I gotta have some music.
It can be whatever. If you want to have music, you can have music. We got the 60-second countdown. I guess that's technically our intro.
It is our intro.
All right, so we got an intro. All right, y'all. So now she has less responsibility because now she's just in charge of the outro and not that's all, y'all. And we leave.
That's all we got. Look, it was a little bit longer this time. That's all we got, y'all. That's
all we got. So we all put our hands up and say that's all we got. How I'm gonna click the out button if I put my hands up. Everybody was like this. Everybody got their hands.
Have Kaya come in. Yeah. I'm gonna bring in
What if I'm at home when I do the podcast? What if I'm on the road? You know, I got the iPad. What if I'm doing it from the iPad at the airport?
Figure it out. Grow another arm.
Excuse me. So I'm getting ready to end it. I'm gonna say that's all we got. Can you just hit this button for me? Thank you. That's what you want me to be like at the airport, some random dude?
Yes.
We're gonna be doing a podcast in the background and be like, everyone boarding, you need to come down. We're locking the gates. I'm gonna be like, that's all we got. Yep.
That's all we got. That's it. That's all I got for y'all. I'm not gonna be more creative than that. I'm not even gonna try. No, I'm just playing. I'll do something maybe. I'll think about it.
All right, and if she don't, then that's all we got.
It's KB fault.
All right, TikTok. I'll catch y'all. Thank you for the likes. I got 1,000 likes, man. TikTok really be 1,044 likes, 2 shares. I only had 23 viewers. I guess because we ain't live. It was only 20 minutes. I started on IG first. All right, y'all. Next week we will have another guest speaker. We're gonna start doing our backup topics. We kind of improvised this one like 15 minutes before the show started. So we are going.
It was like 5.
We'll probably have 5 top 5 backup shows just on standby, just in case this happens again. We definitely weren't prepared for it. This is our first no show, so we'll use this as a lesson, y'all. Thank you for tuning in. That's all we got.
That's it.